Hello and welcome to the Shed Sounds Media YouTube channel. My name is Ian Beabout, and I thought it would be a good idea to provide a little update since it's been, I think I'm close to my 7th month since the move from the actual Shed Sounds. Now I'm located in Steubenville, Ohio, and I've been working pretty much constantly since February, which is when I got things back together. And I've been working on a variety of things. I'm going to try and remember all of them, but it's kind of hard because a lot of my work when I first moved in was stuff that had been held over, Shed Sounds projects that had just continued to sit for a while because I just kind of ran out of time to work on them. But most of those projects are finished. And I'd say probably the biggest one was Soft Machine 71, and that's a multi-vinyl set that's coming out in about a year. So that's been one project, and then also there's Riffastramus 2, which is I'm continuing to work on. It's a project I'm continuing to work on. As is Coloratura 4, or WTF was that, and that is very close to reaching completion. We're like maybe just a couple of sessions away from being finished. But I will get to more information on that in just a moment. But first, I thought I would share with you a couple of projects that have come out in the past 6 months. So first up is this disc called ZZAJ Jazz from the, what is this, 23rd century. So this is the jazz of Kirk and Spock and the Romulans. But no, this is a collection of, it's a compilation of various artists. And I guess the name that a lot of people who follow my channel might know is Henry Kaiser. Henry Kaiser contributed a couple of tracks to this. And anyhow, this does contain, I think, 2 unique mixes that I did. One of them is a track called For Derek, and it features Jerry King and Michelle King. And the other piece is a piece by Dave Newhouse, and I think it's just him solo. There are maybe just a few copies of this left. I think I saw that there was less than 10, but I will leave a link, a Bandcamp link in the description. So if you still want one, you can get it. But this is, there's all kinds of folks on this, and it's jazz of all sorts. Like there's jazz funk, there's avant-garde jazz, there's more moody jazz, there's songs, there's songwriting, there's improvisations. It's a cross-section. It's a cross-section of modern jazz, and it's a project that Jerry King and Dave Newhouse masterminded, and I was very grateful to get the chance to work on this. So check this out, ZZAJ, Jazz of the 23rd Century. The barcode on the back is cool because that's actually a link to look at the album's liner notes, which I think is a really brilliant idea by these dudes. So up next, here is, speaking of Jerry King and Dave Newhouse, here is their latest together. Bring it up closer. It is The New Prometheus by Moon X, and here you have a genuine signed copy that the guys, and I think Michelle's signature too, were happy to autograph for me. But this is, I guess the first Moon X album was taking the Moonmen science fiction movie concept and applying it to a more jazz fusion, idiom. This continues that they have the science fiction themes, but I hear much more of a, I guess, so-called world music influence, but then also there's also quite a lot of, I guess, new wave. Like some of Jerry's tunes or some of Jerry's tones on this record remind me of Joy Division, which I thought was really interesting. I thought this was really unique, and both of these albums, the original Moon X, just called Zap, and the new one, the new Prometheus, they're two of the records that I'm just the happiest with whenever I hear them. I think that they came out so well in the mixing and mastering and arrangement departments, because I consider arrangement a subgenre of mixing, or mixing a subgenre of arrangement, depending on your point of view. But I think there are absolutely 0 copies of these left. So if you want one, you're going to have to settle for buying a download. At any rate, I will leave a Bandcamp link or two in case you'd like to do that. Moon X, the new Prometheus, mixed and mastered here, between here and the old place, Shed Sounds. I started it at Shed Sounds and finished it here in Steubenville. So yeah, check this one out. So aside from the vinyl, the Soft Machine vinyl, France and Holland 1970, which was released on Cuneiform Records earlier this year, and I already showed it. I actually showed it on another video in an unboxing, so you can check that out. But this was another project that came out, and I actually did this quite a while ago. This is the Dutch Lesson by Soft Machine, and this was recorded on October 26, 1973 in the Netherlands. And this was, I think, a really good audience recording that Steve was able to get. And I did very little to this other than mastering and EQ. But I guess I should also point out that I used noise reduction. But other than that, I didn't do very much editing or anything like that. And this was actually done, believe it or not, before I completed the Muffin set. So this was worked on, well over a year or two ago, and it was done before France and Holland 1970. So I was just kind of getting my start in the whole archival thing, but it kind of has come out the last of the three. And what struck me is that since I hadn't heard it in years, was that it does sound really good. Like, I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out sound-wise. And then I also remembered that I got to work with the drummer, John Marshall, a little bit over email. We decided to do a tiny little bit of snipping to his drum part, his drum solo, and he listened and approved. So that was kind of cool. I got to kind of collaborate with John Marshall a little bit. But yeah, this is the Dutch Lesson. This is out on Cuneiform Records, and I will also leave a link for that. As I stated previously, the new Coloratura record is just a couple of sessions away from being completed, we're going to record some guitar soon, which by the time this comes out will be in the past. But we are finishing the final guitar part, which is for a song called Side Hustle, which was actually written by Derek Ferguson. It is the first song in Coloratura history that was not written by either me, Nate, or Derek. So this was actually, either me, Nate, or Derek Pavlik. This was written by Derek Ferguson, who played drums on the album and is also the drummer and composer for Rephostramus. And the whole idea is that I asked Derek to write a song for us because I wanted to challenge myself to not be in control. I wanted to give up control willingly and see what happened. And what happened was Derek Ferguson wrote a song that featured me. And so it's a song that features flute. And it's the only song on the album that features a proper flute solo. So for those of you who've been telling me and encouraging me to play more flute, which I I greatly appreciate, because I've always been insecure about my flute playing. And so I really appreciate it, the folks who have encouraged me to play, and that includes friends and family as well as listeners. The old saying is, be careful what you wish for, because this album has a lot of flute. It's not just side hustle. There's ended up being a lot of flute on this, and that it has to do with, the fact that several of the songs on this new album are compositions of my own. You can actually hear our latest single that I released, the LSD No-No, which you can hear on this channel. I wrote that, and that is going to be released on the new album. So the plan is that I'd like to get the new record out in the fall. Like September sometime would be ideal, but I don't know how likely that is, because as I said, there's still a few more odds and ends that need done. Actually, I spent close to a month that I took off, the whole month of June practically, I spent singing and playing flute. So there's a lot of my performances that are going to be on this album, and that's a first. That's a scary thing as well as an exciting thing, because I don't think I've ever put myself out there quite like this before. So yeah, the new album, it's exciting, I guess the other bit of news I could share is that there's an album cover for this now. We hired a young artist who's really great. Her name is Amelia Daffodilia. If I remember, I'll try to link her Instagram in the comments. But she did a painting based on an idea that kind of me and Derek developed together. The whole idea is like, there's a song on this album that I wrote called The Flim Flam Man, and the Flim Flam Man was inspired by the coal mine. The coal mine came under our home, and that's why we had to move. I liked the idea of both criticizing the use of coal as electricity while also embracing the fact that Coloratura as a band, and me as a professional, run entirely on electricity. I'm entirely dependent on electricity, and I've always liked songs that bite the hand that feeds them, and so that was kind of the idea with this album art, is that we are biting the hand that feeds us, and we are acknowledging that. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you like this album when it comes out, because it's been truly a lot of fun and a unique experience, and very difficult too, very 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 hard. So yeah. Anyhow, thought I would take a moment and talk about what are my goals for this year, because I have a couple of things coming up that are on my mind. So the big one is that I need to upgrade my software. I need to upgrade my entire computer, and because I've been running on a Mac machine, that's close to 10 years old now. I think it's 2017, so it's just a few years shy of being 10 years old. And it's slow. I have to sit here and wait through excruciatingly long bounce and upload times. And I just think it's time to embrace some of the new technology that's coming out. I also want to look into, in the we'll say the next 12 months, I would like to get into Dolby Atmos mixing and spatial audio, because I have the space for it now, and the way that I have my desk set up is in the center of the room, which is optimal for surround sound listening. So that's something that I would like to be able to offer. Like the new computer, the new software and everything, that could come as early as November, because I want to look for like Black Friday sales and stuff. Now the Atmos thing, that could be like a year or more, but I really want to do it. Like, I think that would just expand what I'm able to do so much, and I could offer it to clients, and it would bring my music into a new, a new area of interest. So I think it would be good. So with that in mind, those are my goals. That's what I would like to accomplish within this year, in addition to, finishing the Coloratura album, finishing Refestramas. Also Cloud Over Jupiter. That project's starting to happen with Jerry King. And I might be starting kind of a little solo project. It's a solo project actually of the studio that will feature my studio band. So that means me, Derek Pavlik, Derek Ferguson, and Jerry King. I actually just got some bass tracks today from Jerry that I've yet to listen to, but that's coming. Obviously, I'm ready to do work. Like, I'm keeping busy. I've pretty much not had a whole lot of time off, although I had about a month where I just didn't do much after finishing my parts for Coloratura. I'm ready to take on a mixing and mastering project, or a tape transfer project, or a restoration, or just anything. Like, I'm looking to keep busy. I'm looking to save my money, and I'm looking at ways to accomplish my goals. So if you have anything that you think would fit into the parameters of mixing and mastering, tape restoration, tape transfer, you can reach out through the comments. You can send me a message. My rates are $75 a song to mix, $100 a disc to master. I also offer DDP masters for $50, which can help you set how much time there is between each track. So I think those can be really important. And then also tape transfers are $30 a tape. Now, little small things like editing, like that can be determined. I always kind of try to factor that into the cost and make sure that I'm being paid in a way that reflects the work that I'm doing, because sometimes there's more work that goes into it than just mixing and mastering. Like, sometimes, I might need to do a little bit of cleanup or realignment of stems or editing or whatever. But these are the basic rates that I try to stick to, but there might be some leeway depending on if I do a little extra work, and I'm happy to discuss this with anyone. I think that's pretty much everything. I think I covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about in this little update. Hopefully it's coherent, because I'm not always coherent, although I strive for coherence. I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy what I do. And by all means, drop me a comment about what I'm doing. And if you enjoy it, if you enjoy hearing me play flute, if you enjoy me singing, I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to hear, if what you're excited for. Is there anything that I've talked about here that you're looking forward to? So let me know. I'm looking to open a dialogue, and I'm also looking to expand my usage of this channel a little bit more than what I'm currently doing. But anyway, that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to check it out. I'm sure you'll be hearing from me soon, either a new song or an announcement of the new Coloratura record or anything of that sort. But in the meantime, it's been nice talking with you, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.